Tom Baker reveals that Rowan Atkinson wouldn't let anyone else be funny when filming Blackadder. Rowan Atkinson's performance as Edmund Blackadder is regarded as one of television's great comedy creations. However, according to a former co-star, Atkinson went to some lengths to ensure he was the funniest person in the show. Tom Baker, the Doctor Who actor, appeared in the second Blackadder series as a larger-than-life sea captain named Redbeard Rum. Baker played him with recalling the experience. He told Radio Times Rowan Atkinson was so anxious he wasn't very fun to work with. He took me aside, so we then had the final run-through, and I did this boring routine, and the producer came down and said, "What's going on, are you ill?" I said, "No," and he then said, "Tom, he does that every week." He gives those same. The episode was broadcast in 1986 with Atkinson playing Lord Edmund Blackadder, courtier to Elizabeth I, in the series that made his name. Atkinson was unavailable for comment yesterday. The actor, who returns to television this Friday in a comic relief update of 4 weddings and a funeral, rarely gives interviews. But in a rare discussion, he said, "I don't enjoy work generally. Not because I loved doing Blackadder, because there was a fantastic sense of shared responsibility. There were half a dozen." Baker, 85, made his comments in an interview with David Walliams, who told him that the Redbeard episode of Blackadder is one of the funniest half hours of comedy I have ever seen in my life. Baker replied, "Oh, to a certain generation, Baker remains the definitive Time Lord." The actor said, and then he pulled out a little box and opened it up. And sure enough, Telegraph Media Group Limited 2019. We rely on advertising to help fund our award-winning journalism. We urge you to turn off your ad blocker for the Telegraph website so that you can continue to access our quality content in the future. Thank you for your support.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.